We've all heard about the recent riots in France, but what has sparked them? French President Macron is trying to fight climate change, and therefore he's imposing high taxes on the use of fossil fuel. These protests are against these prohibitive tax increases, all geared toward promoting so-called green justice. And yet we have prominent socialists in America calling for similar types of measures for this country.
You're talking about zero carbon emissions, no use of fossil fuels within 12 years?
That is the goal. It's ambitious. And
how is that possible? You're talking about everybody having to drive an electric car?
It's going to require a lot of rapid change that we don't even conceive as possible right now.
The Green New Deal is to bring the government more in control of the economy. It is a backdoor to socialism.
In light of the Marxist agenda at the root of climate change alarmism, it has been likened to a watermelon, green on the outside, red on the inside.
What's wrong with socialism? Socialism may be well-intended, but it has never worked in any country that has been tried. Capitalism, the free market system, is what provides consistently the most opportunity, the most economic growth of any economic system, because it is in sync with man's God-given nature. You know, we were designed to be free and be creative. Capitalism allows people's freedom to be used creatively.
One of the most prominent climate scientists in the climate change movement, Dr. Mike Hume, said that in a world that is dominated by capitalism, climate change or global warming is a handy thing to come along because it can become the basis, the rationale for our pursuing a different political vision.
But we're told repeatedly that catastrophic man-made climate change is settled science. So we just have to deal with it as it is.
Well, it's settled for those who want a particular political outcome. But those who want to pursue science and the facts of science, of course, need to hear from all sides. You can't get to a good understanding without the facts.
One of the biggest blatant lie in the media is that there's only a few fringe scientists that don't agree that we're seeing, serious, dangerous, man-made global warming climate change. I know so many scientists personally, world-class scientists, world-class meteorologists, which would be one of the main fields, that do not agree with this stuff. I look at Al Gore's movie as a comedy movie for meteorologists. It's that serious. The flaws are that serious with some of the stuff they say.
Much of the Green New Deal seems to revolve around reducing carbon emissions. Carbon emissions are ongoing and a natural function of nature. As a matter of fact, volcanoes emit more carbon emissions than all of the industrialized world together.
What folks want us to do to fight global warming, which is essentially to turn away from fossil fuels, is going to diminish economic growth. It will prolong poverty. And the best protection you have against any kind of weather emergency.
Helping the poor is often the reason touted to fight alleged catastrophic man-made climate change. Critics note that this is ironic because free enterprise and capitalism provide better tools and means of energy to help the down and out in third world countries. For example, millions of women are at risk because they cook on open fires in or just outside their huts.
The smoke from that kills 2 to 4 million people a year, according to the World Health Organization, most of them women and young children. She desperately needs to replace that primitive energy system with a modern energy system in which electricity comes to her home so that she can not just cook her food and heat her hut, but also refrigerate some food so it doesn't spoil. And the climate change alarmist movement demanding that we move away from fossil fuels is essentially saying we have to trap people like that in that poverty for generations to come. I just think that that's morally unconscionable.
Dr. Cal Beisner of the Cornwall Alliance for the Stewardship of Creation further points out that even if all the nations spent $70 to $140 trillion to fight against climate change, the best outcome would slightly reduce the Earth's temperature by less than 1 degree centigrade. Indeed, socialism brings a high price tag with catastrophic results.
The biblical worldview tells us that when God finished creating the heavens and the earth and everything in the earth, he looked at it and behold, it was very good. Now that includes the climate system.